guys, it's Lena. Welcome back to my channel. Still know my 6. It's obviously my channel. So sorry I'm not like as super enthusiastic. Also though, my hair is finally done. I just got done today. There's no more yellow tones to it. It's silvery kind of in the front. It's got a shadow root going on, and it's really fun. Anyway, I have been told to make this video multiple times, and it was the where I've been for 3 months video when I was off social media. And I was really iffy about it because of the fact that I was still going through a lot, and it was a very touchy subject. And also, my mom is very, sorry mom if you see this, my mom is also very weird about how I am with my social media and my mental illnesses. By the way, I just got this tattoo, it's sick as shit. Anyway, so she doesn't really like when I talk about it because I don't know, I seem weak, or it just seems like something I talk about too much. But it is something that I'm very, not passionate about, but very involved. I'm very involved with it myself, and especially with other people I would like to help. And I think that it has now been, it's been about 7 months. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, it's been 7 months, and I'm gonna tell you. And I just want to say now, trigger warning, there's going to be upsetting topics in here, with some foul language and some triggering events that may occur, and just watch at your own risk is what I'm saying. And if anything gets too much, please end the video and try to calm yourself down in a healthy way. But I'm finally ready 7 months later to explain where I was for 3 months and what happened during those 3 months, and then a little bit about what happened after those 3 months and where I'm at now. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be a long video. Try to make it as short as possible, but I want to get the most information out there as I can. So stay tuned. Sorry, this is weird. I don't really talk to the camera like this, but yeah, stay tuned, and let's start the video. Okay, so I'm trying to keep a timeline based on my Snapchat memories and stuff like that I documented throughout this time. I would say from the pictures and stuff like that, this started September 4th around then, so beginning of September. I was just having really bad panic attacks, and I couldn't get them to stop. I thought I was dying. It was just something that was very different than what I've ever felt before in my life, and so I thought something was definitely wrong with me. Backtracking, a couple months before that, maybe a month or two before that, so in August, what's the month before August? I don't even know. July. August, July-ish. Sorry, the lighting's bad. I stopped taking my pills because my mom thought that they were the things that were messing me up. And obviously, when you stop taking pills, you should lower the dosage as you go. And I did not do that. I don't know why. I just cold turkeyed the pills, which is something that you should never do, with any drug, with any drug, any medication, anything like that. Don't do that at all. It's very bad for you. And also, I've been on pills for probably 14, 15 years of my life, and so I've never not been on pills. So the fact that I just cut them off like that was very not good for my health. Sorry, this lighting is really bad right now. The blinds are kind of being weird. Okay, well now this is just even weirder. Okay, now I'm gonna go over here. So I cold turkey them, but I was living my best life when I was not on the pills. I thought things were great. Through July and August, I thought it felt like I was high on life. I was literally living my life so well, if that makes sense. I just felt like there was no worry in the world. I had no panic. I was oh my god, it was the pills the whole time. That was the problem. The pills were the problem. I should have stopped the pills so long ago. That's obviously the problem. I've been on them for so long, and that's what's been fucking me up. and I should have never been taking them in the first place. Stuff like that. So, let me see if I can fix this. Alright, well, hopefully this lighting's better. Anyway, so like I said, I was great. I was literally living my life greatly. I was having the best time ever. And then the first week of September rolls around, and I just start getting like really anxious again, like really, really bad. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I was literally so fine, like literally having like the best summer of my life that I could. It was amazing. If I could feel that way again, I definitely would. But the reason was, it was the pills were still in my system because I've been on them for like 14, 15 years. That it takes a while for them to get out of your system. So it took about 2 months for the pills to completely leave my system. And as soon as they left my system, I basically broke down as a person. Everything inside me broke down. There were thoughts going through my head. I didn't know what was going on. I was panicking. I thought I was dying. I genuinely would cry at night being like, I need to go to the hospital. Like, I am dying. There is something wrong. It was nothing like a normal panic attack. I was freaking out. It was not okay. It was just not okay. Everything about it was terrifying. My sister was crying. I had my mom crying. My dad was crying. It was so sad to see my family have to go through something like that. And then I felt so bad because it was me that was doing that. But it wasn't even me at that time because of the pills. Like, it just really, really messed me up. And that was the start of basically the journey of hell that I went through. This is so weird. I'm sorry. I don't like talk to cameras like this, especially not. I don't know. This is that's why I'm like kind of like looking around and stuff. It's very different for me. Especially this situation is very touchy for me, but like, I think that like you guys should be able to hear it because I've been saying I would tell you guys about it. And I also think that it's a kind of a reminder and a caution, like, of like what to, like, don't do this, type thing. I'm gonna go through my timestamps really quick and get back to you guys in a second. So the panic attacks are going on, and at this point it's just every night crying, having my mom have to sleep with me because I could not sleep. I would genuinely like choke on my own breath. I couldn't function. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. I literally couldn't be left home alone because I was scared. I was paranoid. Everything that I could possibly go through, I was going through. I'm going to show pictures on the screen. This was on September 17th, and I was just absolutely drained. There was nothing else I could do. This was also on September 17th. Drained again. Just broken down, like, felt like I was lifeless at this point, that there was nothing I could do to get back to my normal self. So then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll change it up, because whenever you're sad, you dye your hair. So then September 18th, the day after that, I decided to dye my hair pink. There was no reason for that. I had pink hair for a couple days and then changed it because I hated it. But anyway, I dyed my hair back the next day, go black, and then shit hits the fan. Shit hits the fucking fan. The day shit hits the fan is September 24th, was the day that my parents were just really fed up about this and trying to send me away to Inpatient. If you don't know what Inpatient is, it's basically a behavioral health hospital service where you stay in the hospital overnight and you get treatment, whatever, for whatever you're in there for. And I've never been inpatient. I've never slept anywhere really beside my house. I never do sleepovers with like people at their house. So it was very weird for me, and that was the scariest thing for me to ever go through. So I was really, really stressed out that they were going to send me away. And then September 24th, my cousin came over and my aunt, because my sister and my mom and my dad did not know how to handle me because I was literally going insane. And they my dad was like, that's it, like, we're calling, like, she's going away, she's going away. The ambulance showed up at my house. They came into my room, and they were like, what's going on? And I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. I cannot explain. I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like I'm dying. They're like, do you want to go to the hospital and get checked? And I wanted to, yes, but then I didn't. Then they're like, can you come into the ambulance at least? Can we, like, check some stuff in there and ask you questions alone? Sure. So this all happened in my room, by the way. The ambulance and all that. Or the ambulance people and all that. The EMTs. And so I go into the ambulance, and they prick my finger, get my blood stuff, all that, talk to me, and they're like, are you sure you don't want to go to the hospital? And I was freaking out at that point, and I was just like, no. Even though I did, because I thought I was dying, I was like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. So all those pictures that you've been seeing are from when I was going through that. That was the 24th of September. And then the 26th of September, I went into the hospital because I was like, Mom, I can't do it. Like, there's no way. I can't do it. Like, I was like, you need to take me now. Like, I was like, if you don't take me now, like, I will drive myself. Like, you need to take me now. And she was trying to take my keys away from me. My dad was trying to take my keys away from me. Like, I was going AWOL. I was like, I need to go to the hospital right now. Right now. Right now. So these are pictures of me from the hospital. Basically, they just put an IV in me, and they kept filling me up with Ativan. I will put the description of Ativan here. Ativan is basically a drug just to, like, calm you down. They put it through an IV, but they put like 4 or 5 in, so I felt the best ever. So I started to want to go to the hospital almost every day after I had a panic attack, because the Ativan wasn't like temporary. So I kept wanting to go to the hospital. And then I didn't have my phone, so I don't have timestamps for this because they took my phone away from me. My parents did. But I went to September 28th. I don't know what day I went. I'm pretty sure the night I slept in the hospital, September 26th, I slept in the hospital, and I woke up the next morning and no one was there. And I was like, where's my family? And they're like, they left. They signed you off. You're going to inpatient. And I freaked the fuck out. Like, I was like, absolutely not. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to inpatient. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Because, like, when you're in there, you can't leave. Like, it's like a jail. Like, you can't leave inpatient. And I was like, there's no way. Like, this is going to make me worse. Like, this is going to make me worse. Do not take me. I have a memory of my sister and I talking on the phone on September 28th. I'm guessing that's when I went into the hospital. Which I went to, there's so much to this story. I'm talking so much. I went to the first hospital. Okay. The first hospital that I went to was not going to give names, I'm not going to do that, but it was a hospital that I went to before for an outpatient, which is like the same thing as an inpatient, except you don't sleep there. You just go during the day. And I was there for anxiety. Basically, I was there, and I went to the inpatient. They took me, I fell asleep at the hospital, you know. They gave me more Ativan so that I would be fine to go to the inpatient and not be nervous. And they took me on a stretcher, they put me in an ambulance, and they drove me away to inpatient, which was, I don't even know where. I didn't know where this was. I was driving to the, well, not me driving, obviously, I was in the, like, stretcher type thing, and there was a man, EMT, back, in the back with me, and then there was a girl EMT driving. And the male EMT was just getting very fed up with me, which I totally get. Like, you have a crying 18-year-old, but, like, I'm going through something very, very hard, and I can't explain it, and no one else can explain it. So it was just something very, very hard to go through, and I couldn't explain to him, but I was just telling him, can you, like, open a window? Like, just, like, I wasn't anywhere near a window, and I was strapped in anyway. But I was like, can you open a window or something, or do you have a fan or something? Like, I'm, like, hyperventilating. I feel like I can't breathe. And he said, no. And he got up. There was, like, seatbelts on me and stuff. He got up. He tightened the seatbelts as tight as he could, to the point where I literally was like, and he said, no, but I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to tie this tight, so tight, until you can't breathe. And at that point, I'm freaking the fuck out, and I'm, like, trying to look at the male, or the woman who's driving the EMT, and she's, like, looking back, like, really confused. We finally get to the inpatient. We're waiting in this garage type thing. And I said, can you please send the female back here? I would be very more comfortable with the female back here, please. He said, no, I want to see you suffer. I want to see you suffer. As he's tightening, and I'm basically choking at this point. He's like, I want to see you suffer. And I'm freaking out, and I'm bawling my eyes out. And the woman, she couldn't take it anymore. She was young. I think she was in her 20s. She was like, you know what, let's just switch. And he was like really mad at me. He's like, really? Like, you just ruined my night. Like, this was my enjoyment for the night. And douchebag went to the front and sat in the front of the EMT. And the woman came back, untightened me, sat next to me, held my hand, and said, I do not know what that was, but that was very inappropriate and very uncalled for. And I'm going to report this. She was like, I'm new. I don't know, like, if this is something normal to happen. She's like, but I am so sorry. Like, I wish I could have done something. Like, I was like, it's fine. Thank you for coming back here. She was, like, really trying to help me out and, like, be there for me during that time. And then they switch back, and the guy's taking me to the inpatient. And he's, like, talking to me, and I'm trying to answer questions because they're asking me at the inpatient, and he's answering for me. He's not letting me talk. He's just like, oh, she's drugged up. She can't talk. Like, she's drugged up. Like, so if she says anything, because he probably thought I was going to snitch on him. If she says anything, like, she's drugged up. Like, they drugged her up so much. Like off, like, to the max. Like, she's not here right now, basically. She's kind of just a body here. And I felt like I was lifeless at that point. There was nothing I could do. I was just a body. Like, there was no brain in me. There was no voice. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. Because if I tried to talk, he would look at me. And I was scared. I finally get into the inpatient, and they have to obviously strip check you. And I was wearing like running shorts and a big t-shirt at this time, and you know, they're like having to check you, so they have to like touch you and feel you up and touch. And there was 2 women, and like they were like, okay, like take down your pants. I'm like, okay. They're like, and you have to, because they're seeing if you're like hiding anything. And they're like, your underwear too. And I'm like, okay. And then your top. Like, I felt I was exposed. I didn't know these people. I was drugged. Didn't know what was going on. And I just wanted to go home. I thought going home was going to make things a million times better. I thought this was kind of like a life learning lesson, and I'd be fine after this. They check everything. Everything's fine. But they take my clothes away from me. And they give me just like a hospital gown. And they're like, okay, like, go to bed. I'm in a room by myself. And I'm like, okay. I'm in a room by myself that has 2 beds, but I don't have a roommate. And I'm sleeping, and it's basically just a mattress, not even a mattress. It's like something you get at like camp. It's like a fucking blow-up mattress that's like, I don't have a picture of it. If I could insert, if I look up one and try to show you a picture, it'll show up. But that's what I was working with at the time. And I was so tired beyond at that point because of all the Ativan and all of the pills that I just went to sleep. And when I woke up the next morning, I woke up to them taking my blood and putting more IVs in me. Not telling me what that was, not telling me why. I had no idea what was happening. I was so concerned. And then they left, and they locked my room. And I was crying, and I said, hey, can someone please send somebody to talk to me? Because I thought this was a behavioral health place where they would send someone to talk to you. The most people that were there for drug rehab. I was there for anxiety reasons. So I was like, is there anybody that I can talk to? There were people that sit out my door, hear me cry, come into my door, say, shut up, stop crying. You're fine, like, shut up, go to bed. They brought me a bunch of, like, word searches to do, but they brought me nothing to do them with. So I just sat there looking at words and letters all day. Hence, I spent 3 days in this facility. I got out at one point to go to the bathroom, and I had a bathroom in my room, but something was wrong with it. So I said I had to go to the bathroom, and they let me out of my room. There was a landline phone that didn't have a cord, and I snuck it. I did. I'm going to say it. I snuck the phone into my room. And I call my mom, obviously, and she's just like, you're fine. Like, it'll get better. At that point, I knew she was not going to help me, and so I had to reach out to my sister, who cares for me the absolute most, and my dog's here, cares for me the absolute most and would understand what I was trying to say. But basically, what I was trying to tell my mom was, they are drugging me, and Warren, can you go over there? Thank you. They are drugging me. I don't know what's going on. I'm gluten-free. I can't eat much. I'm not eating. I can't shower. There's someone there, like, going to the bathroom. I'm crying on the bathroom floor in my room. I'm stuck in this bed. I'm literally, like, banging, writing stuff. I don't think I did. I almost did. Write, like, with my nail, like, whoever's, like, next, like, whoever is here next, like, I was just gonna say, like, I'm sorry, because the facility that I was in for 3 days was hell. Absolute hell. I'd wake up every day, and I found out that they were actually giving me 7 Xanax a day. 7 Xanax a day. If you don't know what Xanax is, it is a very, very, very highly addictive drug that many people die from. And they were giving it to me 7 times a day just so I would shut up and sleep. And I'd wake up and they'd be like, oh, here's your pill, because I'd think it's the next day because I'd be sleeping. Here's your pill. They would just give it to me, either swallow it, or they'd give them an IV, or they'd shove it down my throat. So at this point, I was getting addicted to Xanax. And I was telling my mom, and she found out, and I told my sister, and I was on the phone with my sister for 3 hours. I hid the phone, and they came in the room looking for the phones. I said, I don't know where it is. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know where it is, because I felt like that was my only way that I was going to get out of this place. And I called my sister. I'm like, you need to tell Mom that she needs to check me out. Say something's wrong. I need to be checked out. They're like, you can't get checked out unless you see the doctor. I'm like, I've been here for 3 days and I haven't seen anybody, haven't had treatment. I've been locked in my room, drugged, and barely ate, and verbally abused, and then abused in the ambulance on my way here. So nothing about this is treatment. My sister was crying on the phone. I was crying to my sister. It was a very emotional moment for both of us. And until I get a call from her that I have the phone, and she calls me crying, and she says, Mom is coming to get you tomorrow. And I just felt like the weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I thought, one more day, like, I can do this. she was like bawling out of tears, like, just, Mom is coming to get you tomorrow. And those words, I felt like, saved me. I felt like they saved me. They gave me motivation to make it through one more day. Make it through one more day through this hellhole. It was absolutely terrible. My mom wanted to sue this place. It was horrific. She sent them my clothes, because like they can send clothes to you and like books and stuff like that, so you can do things in your room. She sent so many clothes, so many like books, so many coloring books, so many like word searches, markers, crayons, something for me to do, you know, journals. And they just kept saying, no, you don't have anything. Like, your parents obviously like want you here because they're not sending you anything. And they were only doing it to me because everyone else got to walk out of their room and go to therapy and go talk to their therapists and go talk to doctors. They would not let me. I don't know why. They did not like me. They singled me out and they said, no, you're stuck in this room. You are not leaving. And make it to the next day where my mom is coming. The doctor gets me. He talks to me. He's like, so you're leaving today? And I'm like, yeah, you have not talked to me. I like flipped the fuck out on him. I'm like, I have been here drugged up. I don't even remember anything. Blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a terrible place to be. And I came here once in 2018 for outpatient, and it was great. But your inpatient sucks and is absolute torture. And I don't know if you're just doing this to me or if you're doing this to everybody here. But they were just doing it to me because everyone else was fine. And I was like, you are getting a report on this because this is absolutely unacceptable. And this is abuse. I hope you do know that. And he was like, so you're not going to be coming back? And I said, no, I'm not going to be coming back. Sign the papers and get me the fuck out of here. He signs the papers. My mom is here. Then, when I'm leaving, they're like, oh, you have some stuff here. It's all my fucking clothes, all my books, all my coloring books, all my markers, my crayons, my pen, like, everything. They give it to me when I leave. And I was like, you said I didn't have any clothes. I was half naked in a room by myself, drugged every single day for 3 days with 7 Xanax a day and Ativan, not eating, sleeping all day, and crying. And you could have gave me any of this to distract me, but no, you didn't. I got home. Not home, but I got in the car. As soon as I saw my mom, as soon as I left the outdoors and left the indoors and saw outside, just the biggest relief came out of my body. I felt like I was alive again. My mom was like, you are out of there. And I was like, holy shit. I have never in my life felt like how I was feeling when I was in there. It was absolute torture. It was crazy. And I'm not saying the place, but like, again, I think pretty sure we set up a report, and we do want to sue them, but I don't think we are, but we do want to because it was absolute hell. Anyway, I go home for the first night, and it's very weird. I go in my room and I'm getting PTSD from when the EMTs would come into my room. I'm getting PTSD from when I would have panic attacks. I'm getting PTSD from when I would just cry all day, not be able to breathe because I would just sit in my room. So I couldn't be in my room. I'd go downstairs, I'd go on the couch, I'd be crying. My mom would have to call my psychiatrist and be like, can you please give her something that gets her, like she needs something. And what we didn't know at this time was I was going through withdrawals. Drug withdrawals with Xanax. Having Xanax a day, 7 times a day for 3 days, so 7 times 3 is 24. That's 24 pills of Xanax, which I think was about 3 milligrams a day. 3 milligrams a day, 3 milligrams 7 times a day, so 24 milligrams of Xanax a day for 3 days. You're gonna get addicted. I was going through absolute withdrawal, chills, wanting to throw up, no appetite, like how you would if you were like going through heroin drugs or heroin withdrawals or Molly withdrawals or cocaine withdrawals, exactly like that. I'm shaking in the corner. I can't move. I don't want to be by anybody. I'm freaking out, and I just keep saying, take me to the hospital. And my parents are telling me, if we take you back to the hospital, you are going back to inpatient. They will not send you home because they saw your record. They're going to send you back to inpatient. And I said, no, they won't, because I'm 18, and if you guys say no, they can't send me. And they're like, yes, they can. They can send you because you are mentally unstable. But I just kept saying, I need to go to the hospital, I need to go to the hospital, I need to go to the hospital. And, oh my God. I hate reliving all this, but my mom ended up taking me the day after I got out of the other inpatient, the first inpatient, to a place that was like a outpatient, and which I didn't mind doing outpatient at all. And she brought me there, and she was going to have me do a program there. I went there for like an evaluation. I'm sitting in the desk, and I'm shaking like this. I'm like having spasms like this, and I'm crying, and my mom, and they're looking at me like, what's going on? And at this point, my mom is in tears, which is making me cry, because she's like, it's been 3 days. How the hell did this happen? We brought her there, and they fucked her up. They got her addicted to drugs, which is Xanax is a hardcore drug. And they got my 18-year-old daughter addicted to Xanax, and she is a drug addict. She's a drug addict at this point. And I'm sitting there, I'm shaking, I'm going through withdrawals, I'm like crying, I'm moving, I'm punching things, I'm throwing things, I don't want to be anywhere, I'm crying again. There's just nothing felt worse when I was sitting in that desk, for an evaluation. And then my mom was crying, it was terrible. We left, they said come to program the next day. The next day comes, I'm crying, I don't want to go to program, I'm sitting in the hallway crying. A girl comes up to me, she's like, it's really not that bad, I promise, it's really fun. This place, by the way, was beautiful. It was a great outpatient place. It was just not for me at the moment. I went for about 2 days, but the second day that I went, I ran to the bathroom, and you could have your phone, like it was very chill. And I sat on my phone, and I sat in the bathroom, and I called my mom, and I said that she needed to come right now because I was gonna go insane. And the first day, I just cried the whole time. That was it. Just cried. That was it. So you'd go in the morning, and you'd leave around like 3 or 4, and you'd go sleep at home. And I thought that was gonna be better for me. I was like, this is gonna be so good for me. I'm gonna get back. They're gonna find me the right medicine. Blah 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 blah. It's all gonna work out. No. I started having the panic attacks again in my bedroom at nighttime, during the daytime, worse at the nighttime. And it's to the point where it's so bad that I'm like, Mom, I know they're going to send me away. Like, I know they're going to do it. So, can you just take me to the hospital? She's like, you want to go? And I'm like, I don't want to get sent away, no, but I want to go to the hospital because I feel like I'm dying. She's like, you're not dying. I'm like, no, I do. I feel like I'm dying. She's like, the reason you want to go to the hospital, she's like screaming at me at this point. The reason you want to go to the hospital is because you know they're going to give you drugs. And you get the drugs, you feel good. You get the drugs, you feel good. You don't get the drugs, you feel like shit. You don't get the drugs, you feel like shit. You go home, you think they fixed you, so you want to go to the hospital. But then you come home and the drugs wear off and you're unfixed again. Hence the cycle that just keeps reoccurring, and the addiction that just also keeps reoccurring. Let me fix this lighting. And I did not know what to do at this point. I did not know what to do. I was freaking out. My dad was like, whatever, my parents are very nice to me. I just want to note that right now. My parents are very nice to me. This was just a very hard situation to obviously go through as a parent and as a sibling, like my sister, to see someone you love go through this addiction like this, and just these episodes is very heartbreaking. My dad had to actually leave for a night, but he basically said, get a bag. He got a bag. He threw a bunch of my clothes in there. He threw a bunch of shit in there. And he told my mom, like, Grace, like, we're bringing her to the fucking hospital. Like, she's going to the hospital and that's where she wants to go, like that's where she's gonna go. Like, he was just aggravated at this point because he didn't know how to handle it. Nobody knew how to handle it. And he just thought sending me away, just send me away, it'll be fine. I go to the hospital. Of course, they give me more Ativan, and my mom is there with me, and I feel safe. I feel happy. I feel safe. I have the drugs in my system. It's not Xanax, but it is Ativan, and I just feel like life is great. And again, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, this is so good. I'm so much better. I'm ready to go home. They're like, hey, can we talk to your mom for a second? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like sleeping on the hospital bed, whatever. They start giving me more IVs so that I will pass out. They make me pass out, and when I wake up, I was like, oh, is my mom done signing papers? And they said, no, she left you here. I was like, what? Because my mom promised me, she said, I won't let them take you away. Like, I'll say no. But I guess they took her away when they asked her to talk to her. They gave her papers, and they wrote basically saying, we need to take her to another inpatient. And this one is going to be 7 to 10 days. Not counting weekends or holidays. So it's really more than 7 to 10 days. I get that news, and they said, your mom did not want you to go. She cried. She did not want you to go. She said she promised you she wouldn't go. So please don't be mad at your mom. And I was like, okay, at least my mom, she felt for me, she heard me, she knew I did not want to go. But they sent me anyway because I was unstable. Again, I go to the hospital, ambulance, same bullshit. No abuse at this point. This second inpatient was much better, but also had its ups and downs. My first night there, I got there at night, at like 8 at night, 9 at night, and they gave me Ativan again to just let me sleep through the night. And I fell asleep. I was in a room by myself. The room was very nice. It was a 1-bedroom room, so I didn't have a roommate. I was by myself, and I fell asleep. And I woke up the next morning, and I was fine. I woke up again. So when I woke up, I was very confused. Didn't know what was going on. And stuff like that. They said that I refused to get my vitals taken, which I don't remember. And I think that's just because of the pills and everything they were drugging me up with and the IVs. Also, I want to backtrack. So bringing this back, when I was at the first inpatient, the papers all said patient unable to respond. Patient unable to respond. Patient was too mentally unstable, blah, blah, blah. But that was just because they drugged me and they got me addicted. So, basically, I couldn't sign anything. I couldn't say anything because they said that I was unstable and I couldn't do it. And they wrote down that I, couldn't talk. I wasn't talking. I wouldn't talk. They basically lied. That was the first place that we want to sue. Basically, the first night, like I said, I slept by myself. It was fine. I got up. There was a very, very, very sweet worker there who made me feel comfortable. She honestly saved me. I think she saved me through my whole experience. And she only worked morning shifts, morning to 4, and then night shift people came in. The night shift people, on the other hand, were trainers. They were being trained. And every night before she left, she would come into my room and she would say, this is, because I'm 18, I had to be with the adults. She would be like, this is the baby of our group. She's gluten-free. You have to make sure they give her gluten-free food, because at the cafe, they would not give me gluten-free food. They would not give me any type of food. She would have to go, she would literally go out and get me food. She says, this is the baby. This is my baby. Take care of her while I'm not here, please. I do not want to hear any complaints in the morning. I do not want her to have anything wrong with her in the morning. Please make sure she's okay. I was her main concern, and that made me feel so safe. She was my mom. She was basically my mom when I was there. And we grew a really great bond together. I would tell her everything. I would sit with her at lunch and when we'd eat, I would sit with her. She would get me gluten-free food. She would talk to me. She would make me laugh. She saved me. She genuinely saved me. And I can't be more thankful for her than that. They let you do arts and crafts there. I wrote her a letter. It was a picture, actually, of a house. And I wrote her a letter about how she made me feel like home. And she was my mom when I wasn't home. And that I'm very, very thankful for her and what she did for me, because what I went through before this was absolutely terrible, and I couldn't go through it again. And the fact that I had to go to an inpatient, but she made it to the point where I felt like I was going to be okay was great. Second day at inpatient, I get a roommate. And I haven't showered now by I don't know how many days. My hair is literally in a rat's nest. And the girl is leaving tomorrow, the next day, and she said, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Do you want me to do your hair?" And I was like, "Oh." And she's like, "You can take a shower or we can wash it in the sink." And I said, "We can wash it in the sink," because we were roommates for a night. She was very nice to me. She washed my hair in the sink. She started giving me shampoo and conditioner that there was. She brushed out my hair. That took almost 4 hours because all they had was a small comb, which is the comb that I use, the one that I stole from the mental hospital. Yeah, that's the comb that I use every day. Anyway, memories. And it felt like I was living for a minute. She was my friend, and she helped me out, and she brushed my hair, and I felt like normal again. And so when I came back out of the room and my hair was wet and I was clean and I changed, because this time they gave me my clothes. I got to wear clothes from home. I got stuff from home. I got coloring books. I got things from home. They gave it to me. They sent me some gluten-free food that my mom sent so I could eat. And basically I got out and I walked through the halls, and they were like, "Who's that? Who's that?" And I was like, "It's me." Like, I was in such a good mood. I felt so much better. I could thank this girl so many times. Literally made me feel like a little bit more like me again. The girl who worked there was like, "You look amazing. Like, you look like you're glowing right now. Like, you literally look like you are a different person. Like, I've never, like, you're so beautiful. Most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Like, you're my baby. You know that." And I was on low battery, so I'm going to try to finish this up quick. Basically, the first night, like I said, I slept by myself. It was fine. I got up. There was a very, very, very sweet worker there who made me feel comfortable. She honestly saved me. I think she saved me through my whole experience. And she only worked morning shifts, morning to like 4, and then night shift people came in. The night shift people, on the other hand, were trainers. They were being trained. And every night before she left, she would come into my room and she would say, "This is," because I'm 18, I had to be with the adults. She would be like, "This is the baby of our group. She's gluten-free. You have to make sure they give her gluten-free food," because at the cafe, they would not give me gluten-free food. They would not give me any type of food. She would literally go out and get me food. She says, "This is the baby. This is my baby. Take care of her while I'm not here, please. I do not want to hear any complaints in the morning. I do not want her to have anything wrong with her in the morning. Please make sure she's okay." I was her main concern, and that made me feel so safe. She was my mom. She was basically my mom when I was there. And we grew a really great bond together. I would tell her everything. I would sit with her at lunch and when we'd eat, I would sit with her. She would get me gluten-free food. She would talk to me. She would make me laugh. She saved me. She genuinely saved me. And I can't be more thankful for her than that. They let you do arts and crafts there. I wrote her a letter. It was a picture, actually, of a house. And I wrote her a letter about how she made me feel like home. And she was my mom when I wasn't home. And that I'm very, very thankful for her and what she did for me, because what I went through before this was absolutely terrible, and I couldn't go through it again. And the fact that I had to go to an inpatient, but she made it to the point where I felt like I was going to be okay was great. Second day at inpatient, I get a roommate. And I haven't showered now by I don't know how many days. My hair is literally in a rat's nest. And the girl is leaving tomorrow, the next day, and she said, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Do you want me to do your hair?" And I was like, "Oh." And she's like, "You can take a shower or we can wash it in the sink." And I said, "We can wash it in the sink," because we were roommates for a night. She was very nice to me. She washed my hair in the sink. She started giving me shampoo and conditioner that there was. She brushed out my hair. That took almost 4 hours because all they had was a small comb, which is the comb that I use, the one that I stole from the mental hospital. Yeah, that's the comb that I use every day. Anyway, memories. And it felt like I was living for a minute. She was my friend, and she helped me out, and she brushed my hair, and I felt like normal again. And so when I came back out of the room and my hair was wet and I was clean and I changed, because this time they gave me my clothes. I got to wear clothes from home. I got stuff from home. I got coloring books. I got things from home. They gave it to me. They sent me some gluten-free food that my mom sent so I could eat. And basically I got out and I walked through the halls, and they were like, "Who's that? Who's that?" And I was like, "It's me." Like, I was in such a good mood. I felt so much better. I could thank this girl so many times. Literally made me feel like a little bit more like me again. The girl who worked there was like, "You look amazing. Like, you look like you're glowing right now. Like, you literally look like you are a different person. Like, I've never, like, you're so beautiful. Most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Like, you're my baby. You know that." And my camera died, but I just want to finish this video and I don't have time to charge it. So now I'm on my phone. But basically, she was like, "You are my baby. You look beautiful. You look amazing." I became friends with about 2-3 people at the facility. I would cry at night when I called my mom because I heard her voice and I just broke down. And then my mom says, "I'm not going to answer the phone if you're going to cry, because it's going to make her cry and it's just not okay." But I wanted to talk to her, so then I would call my sister. And my sister would say, "If you cry, I'm going to end because I'm going to cry." I never called my dad. He never answered. Which sucks. I did want to hear from my dad at least, but I didn't until I was home. But there was a doctor there that gave me new meds every day, try something new. One time they gave me something that was 400 milligrams, and the girl that was working, that was like my friend, basically, the one that called me her baby, she basically made me, we have to like bring this cart down to the cafe whenever we go down. And she's like made me push the cart. And I was like, "Why are you making me push the cart?" Because I was basically high off this pill because it was 400 milligrams. I've never taken it. Haven't really ate in a couple days because there was no gluten-free food. And I was high off my ass. And we thought it was the funniest thing in the world. She's like, "Push the cart." So like everyone's in front of us. It's just me and her. She's like she had kids. She was like in her 30s, 40s maybe. And she's like, "Push the cart." And I'm like, "I can't." Like, I'm like literally looking like this. I'm like, "I can't push the cart." She's like, "You can push the cart. Come on, Angelina, push the cart." And I'm like, "I can't push the cart." And she's like, "You're high off your ass, aren't you?" Like, and I was like, "Yes, please. How can we get this pill to get out of me?" And she was laughing so hard. Like, but it was funny. Like, it was funny to me. Like, it wasn't anything bad. It was just, I only took it one day, and So then she was like, are you going to talk to your doctor? And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to talk to my doctor. I'm being so loud in the cafe because I'm like high off my ass off this pill. I don't even know what it was. And she's like, are you going to talk to the doctor? I'm like, yeah, he's not giving it to me again because he wanted to give me 400 in the day and 400 at night. Like, I would have been dead. I literally would have died. I was out of it. I got another roommate because my other one left. Not really going to say much about that. Just very weird vibes. Scary. I don't know. Every night there was a new person that would come and do the night shift. New people. But every night she would come to my room, say this is the baby of the group and she's my baby, so you cannot do anything. You have to make sure she eats. You have to make sure she gets out of bed. You have to make sure she goes and gets up and goes to therapy. You have to make sure she does all this. Blah, 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 blah. Telling the staff. I was having an attack, and it was to the point where I was crying and I was shaking, and I genuinely thought I was going to pass out because at this point, again, I was not eating because there was no gluten-free food. And one of the boys that I became friends with, which if you're watching this, I miss you, he like screams like no, she's not okay, like she's not eating. And he says, hand the phone to blank. Gives him the phone. He's like, she's gonna pass out. Like, I'm here, I'm holding her hand. He was my age. He was holding my hand. He was like, it's gonna be okay. He set a chair up right next to me. He basically made sure I didn't pass out. He kept trying to find me orange juice, oranges, apples, anything to get me something in my system. And they kept trying to give me like coffee or something. And I'm like, no, I need food. I haven't eaten. I need food. And they kept bringing up stuff. And I'm like, I cannot eat this. It's not gluten-free. And they didn't get the memo of gluten-free. And they're like, just eat it. And I said, I can't. I will be sick. I cannot eat this. Like, I'm allergic. I cannot eat this. And they don't care. And they're like, well, if you don't want to eat it, then you don't want to help yourself. And you're going to pass out. And we're just going to let you pass out. And so this was where more verbal abuse came in. And the verbal abuse was almost only at the night shift. My phone died, and I'm going to really, really, really try to wrap this up because it's probably so long. But I'm trying to get as much detail as I can. I'm probably missing so much at this point. But anyway, this guy, he's like, she's not okay, try and help me out. And the night shift abuse always happened at night. And it was verbal. It was not sexual, nothing like that. But it was verbal abuse. And it was like, well, if you pass out, you pass out. Like, oh, well, you're going to wake up. Like, you're going to wake up at some point, so whatever. Like, sitting right next to me saying, can you call the ambulance? I am going to pass out. Like, can you get me something? Like, there was a hospital literally right there. Can you please get me, like, an actual hospital? There was this one girl. She was, like, an overdramatic girl. Old lady, actually. And she got sent to the hospital like 4 times because she'd be like, oh, my ankle hurts. And they send her away to the hospital. And I said, you just sent her away. Can you please let me go to the real hospital? I need something that's not going to make me pass out. I'm going to pass out. I need food. I am not okay. At this point, I'm probably like 87 pounds. Haven't been eating because I was at these places. Was just mentally not okay. And she sat next to me. I'm screaming, can you please call 911? Can you please call 911? Can you please call 911? The boy next to me is holding my hand. He's slapping it away. The girl that was working at the night shift is slapping it away. He's like, don't touch her. She doesn't deserve to be touched. Don't touch her. Don't touch her. She doesn't deserve to be touched. She doesn't deserve to be here. If she wants to cry, she can cry. If she needs to pass out, she's going to pass out. Like, who cares? No one cares. Stop touching her. She doesn't care. This man who became my really good friend, my best friend at the place, actually, that was my age. He just she would slap his hand, he would grab her hand and be like, stop it, like, why are you treating her like this? You only treat her like this. Why are you singling her out? Again, I do not know why at both inpatients I was being singled out, but I was, and I can't explain it, but I'm so thankful for this boy who helped me and was like, stop, do not call 911 right now for her. She is going to pass out, and it's on your watch. You are training. You are not even certified. So you better call 911, because if, he said the girl's name that she calls me her baby, finds out, that you treated her like this, you are going to be gone. There's no way you are going to be here. No way you are going to be here. At all. And she's listening. She's going, like a fucking child. And I said, do you not understand that I'm going to pass out? I'm going to pass out. I haven't eaten in days. You haven't given me food. You won't find me food because you keep saying gluten-free is not a thing, and you're not finding me food, and I am going to die here. I'm going to die here. I genuinely thought I was going to die here. I was like this. I was pale. I was passing out. The boy was holding me. He was like, you're okay, I promise. He was getting me everything. He was giving me water. He was getting me, like I said, oranges and all that, trying to make me feel better. And she basically made a guard get him and make him go away from me. And again, I was singled out by myself. Please, can you call 911? Please, I need help. Like, I am going to die right now. No, can't do that. Just, like, ignoring me the whole day. I'm crying, and I get on the phone. I say, get on the phone. I'm like, Mom, this place is doing something else at night. It's a nightmare. I can't sleep here. Like, I can't do another night here. There's no way I can do another night here. Please, you need to get me out of here. She's like, I can't get you out of there. You have to stay a certain amount of days until I can get you out. She ended up getting me out like 2 days early, but there's still more to come. That night, I didn't end up going to the hospital or at all. I ended up just feeling like I was going to pass out the whole night, and I tried falling asleep and honestly, at that point, I thought to myself, if I don't wake up, I don't even care at this point. And that was a scary thought that I had, but I had it because I was like, this is torture, and I do not want to go through this. But I knew that if I woke up every morning, the worker that I liked would be there, and she would be there for me, and I would be able to tell her everything that happened. So every day, that was my motivation. Wake up and see her, talk to her. I just choked. See her and talk to her, and your day will get better. Whew. And then I find out that she's not going to be working for the next 3 days, and those are my last 3 days. So I write her this thing, the thing that I set up at the house, and basically told her that she is my home, she was my mom, basically everything. She gave me her work email to message her and everything. She said, please keep me updated. The whole time she kept telling me, you do know you don't belong here, like, because everyone there that was going through drug rehab or was suicidal or was blah blah. I was there just because of panic attacks, and I didn't know how to handle them. And she told me so many times, like, you shouldn't even be here, like, this is not the place for you. I ended up staying there for about 8 days, and it was hell every night. Every night it was hell. And the most you can stay is about 10 days at this facility until they can move you to another facility. My roommate was telling me she's been here for like 40-something days, but wouldn't tell me why. And would get up in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m, turn on all the lights in our room, grab clothes from my bag, be like, we're starting our day, blah, blah, like, I don't know what she had. I really don't know, and I don't have the information. I'm not supposed to be sharing anything like that. But I get up, there's a guy working the night shift, and I'm having a panic attack because she's like freaking me out, and I'm crying, and he's like, you either get up and go to your room, or I'm going to grab you. And again, my guy friend comes around and says, you do not get to touch her. You do not get to touch her. He says, I have the facilities to touch her. I can touch her if I want to. I literally just deleted 80 apps off my phone so that I could finish this. Again, the teenage boy said, do not touch her. You do not have the facilities to touch her. And he was a big man, the guy that worked there at night, the person who was training. And I was absolutely terrified of him. And he started grabbing me. He started pulling me. He started, like yanking me, bringing me to my room. And I was like, crying, and this boy that was my friend, just to clarify, just friends, like, we genuinely just had friends, like, we were very friendly with each other. He was going through his own problems, I was going through my problems, and he was like trying to like hold the guy, be like, you don't get to touch her, like stop touching her, you do not get to do this to her. And he's like, I can do whatever I want, like I'm working here, I work the night shift, so I get to do whatever I want. And he's laughing and he's grabbing me, he's like dragging me around like a rag doll basically, and just doing whatever he wants with me and throwing me into my room. And I cry. I sit on my bed and I cry. And I don't know where my roommate is at the time, because she was going crazy. Again, this was at like 3 a.m. And so I'm crying, and he comes in my room and he says, are you done crying? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, you terrified me, and I told you not to touch me, and I asked you please not to touch me, and you did. I told you I would get up and go to my room, and you did not listen, and you grabbed me, and you drag me around like a rag doll. You do not have the right to do that to me. So please, can you leave my room? Blah, 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 blah. Leaves my room. Comes back in and tells me, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay. So he said, do you want to come out? And I said, sure. I can't sleep. He's sitting, watching all the rooms, and I'm sitting on the floor, basically like this, against a wall. And we have an actual heart-to-heart. So this guy that was actually being very mean to me started to have a heart-to-heart. I tell him everything. Tell him what happened to my old inpatient. He had no words, and he apologized. And he then was talking to me because I kept going to my roommate for, kind of like went to her for some type of comfort because my other roommate left and the other worker was not there. By the way, I gave her that note before I left, and then she gave me everything, and we both cried. That's when she gave me the email so that we could be in touch, and she wants to check in on me, and she cried, I cried. It was absolutely, like, just very emotional. Then the worker was asking why I was out of my room, and I said, my roommate was going crazy, I don't know what she was doing. And he said, she's been here for a while. And I said, I know. She hasn't told me why. He says, she lost her license to drive because of what she did. And I said, okay. So he said, I know you're using her for comfort, and I get that, but just know everyone's in here for a reason. And he said, she's in here for a reason. And that's why she's been here for more than 10 days, which you're not supposed to be. She was in here for like 40 or something days. And he told me that, and I was like kind of freaked out about it. And then he started telling me a really, really personal story about him, and we connected, and we talked. He called up a nurse to get me a sleeping pill so I could go to bed because I couldn't sleep, and we talked for like 4 hours, and I went to bed, and I woke up, and the next day was fine, living, everything went fine, and then boom, night shift. And I was very worried because it was the same guy as before, the one that I had the heart-to-heart with. And he asked me about my social media because I said I did social media, and he looked me up. And he looked me up and he said, that's you? And I said, yes, that's me. He says, do you have filters on or makeup on? I said, no, that's me. And he looks at me and he says, you're very skinny now, and you don't look like yourself. I said, I know. He said, you shouldn't be in here, should you? And I said, no, I shouldn't. And he says, we're going to find a way to get you out of here. He finds my files, and my files say I am at high risk, and I am in here because I assaulted someone. Yes, assaulted someone. And then I'm at high risk and I can't leave. And he was like, we are going to get this figured out because you are obviously not at high risk. You are only here for anxiety and panic attacks. That's the only reason. Your only problem here is that you cry. That's it. And I was just like, finally, somebody other than the other girl that works here and the boy that I'm friends with understands that I should not be here. I should be getting other help. And all this time, by the way, the therapy sessions that went on, or the group sessions, were coloring sessions. They were coloring sessions. there was no real help. They said you'd see a therapist. I never saw a therapist there. It was better than the other one, though. Like I said, had its ups and downs, but it was better than the other one. But yeah, they fixed my profile, or my file. They told the girl who worked there that I was friends with, that worked there, and she was like, oh hell no, oh hell no. She fixed that shit right away. She was like, you are getting out of here. And she called and she came into my room. She said, you have one more day here, baby. And I cried and I said, one more fucking day. Holy shit. Like, I can do this one more day. Turns out I didn't. I had 2 more days, but I still made it. Basically, the people who were around my age, there were a couple of them, they like tried planning something, and it was super weird, and I did not want to be involved with it at all. But for some reason, when I got out, they got my mom's number, and were texting it, and got my number, and were texting it. I don't know what was going on. That one boy was not involved in that at all. Him and I were on the other side. We were like, what the fuck? Something's going on, and I don't know what the fuck it is. But we kept our distance. But basically, what I wanted to say was, the last 3 or 4 days, I started having very bad panic attacks again, for no reason, at nighttime. And I went to the what's it called? The little nurse station to see what they had for me, which was an Ativan, which I would take just to get me by, but it was a pill and it was not a high dosage. It was like 0.5. And they were like, take the pill, like when I was having panic attacks. And I never wanted to take it, but I did start taking it and I did feel better because it was only 0.5 and it was not addictive. But they said, I see you have Xanax on file. Do you want me to get you a couple? My head back from a couple weeks ago was saying, get the Xanax, because I was addicted to it. But like, me as a person was saying, don't get the fucking Xanax, you're just gonna get fucked again. But I did. I took the Xanax, but I only took it at nighttime to go to bed, because then I could never feel the effects of it wearing off. I took it for about 3 days, and I have not taken it since, and it's been 7 months. I just want to say that. That's all. So to wrap this up, I did go home. Things got better at home. I was going to go to an outpatient therapy again. Didn't work out for me. I actually went to work with my mom for a week because I couldn't be home alone. No one could watch me. I was an 18-year-old who needed to be watched because I was unstable. We didn't know if I was going to ever have an attack or have a withdrawal attack, or I needed help. And I have 8 mental illnesses, and it was just really, really hard to manage, especially by myself. So yeah, I ended up getting a boyfriend after all of this, and I thought it was amazing. I thought that I was living my life. I was going out again. I was back on my new pills, or I was back on the pills that I was on before when I cold turkeyed them. So everything was back to like where it was before I cold turkeyed the pills. And everything was peachy. It was great. I had my first real boyfriend. I would go to his house, he would come to mine, we would go to his mom's house, we would drive. I never let anybody drive. We would go on a date, which I don't actually know if we went on a date. I don't remember, to be honest. Yeah, we did. We dated for about 2 months, 3 months, and things happened. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to give him backlash. Not going to do any of that. But things happened, and I started to go back down that hole again, and I just kept telling myself, you are going to get sent away. You are going to get sent away. And whenever I have a panic attack, that's the first thing that comes to my head is, holy shit, you're going to get sent away. Because my first thing is I text my mom, I am panicking. And she promises me she will never send me away again. She said that the second time though, and I still got sent away. So it's very hard to believe. Basically, again, I'm not going into depth and stuff, but things happened, and it destroyed me, and it still does to this day. If I have panic attacks, I'm scared I'm going to go back. I actually was with my friends and had a panic attack, so I went upstairs to just be by myself, and in my head it was just, you're going back, admit it, you're going back, you don't deserve to be happy, you never are happy, and in my head, it like my head tells me, you deserve all the pain in the world. I don't know why, because I'm a very genuine person and I'm a very nice person, but to myself, I think that I deserve all the pain in the world, and that's what I kept telling myself. And I was saying, this is happening for a reason, because you were happy for a certain amount of time, and it was bound to happen. And what happened was, my boyfriend and I did break up. I broke up with him for several reasons I'm not getting into, but it just brought me into a hole. I could not go into my room. Again, I had PTSD from all the hospital stuff. Things happened in that room I could not go back into. I had to reorganize my whole room because I can't be in there. Hence the reason I'm filming this video in a different room right now. And now I have a new friend group. And I hang out with my neighbor all the time. And I dropped a lot of toxic people in my life. And I kind of just said, restart. I hit a restart button. I'm blonde now, so that's restart for real. Yeah. I really don't know if I covered everything, and I know this video is probably like 40 minutes long. I do not know, and I'm sorry that I didn't get to film it all on the camera. I had to delete so many stuff off my phone to finish this video. Not died, but ran out of storage. Thank you guys for going through this journey with me. I know it took 7 months to film this video. I didn't cry though. And that's where I was. And I was not, ran out of storage again. I'm gonna go really fast. Basically, I was not okay, and I'm still working on it, but I'm a survivor of the abuse that I went through, and the withdrawals, and the other things that I will not be explaining that happened, because I just do not want to bring that to the internet, and I just do not want to talk about it. But I'm a survivor of that, and I just want to say thank you guys for waiting 7 months for this video. This was very hard for me to make, and honestly, I had to go back and look at pictures and everything just to make this video. But I just want to say thank you, and I love you guys so much, and thank you for supporting me and being there for me always. I love you, and I'll see you guys in my next video that will hopefully be a happy one, because this is sad, but I'm getting better. I'm not better yet, but I'm getting there. But that's okay, because like, recovery does not go in a linear line. So just know that. And if you are alone, think you are alone, you are not. I guarantee you are not alone. Please know that. I love you guys so much. I can't say it enough, and I will see you in my next video. Peace. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.